Wednesday matinee as the D-backs look for their first three-game sweep in nearly 2 months. Patrick Corbin gets the start. Can the D-backs get the sweep? The D-backs and the Reds. It's afternoon baseball on Fox Sports Arizona. Good afternoon from Chase Field and welcome to the broadcast. Steve Berthiaume, Bob Brenly along the way. The D-backs will try and sweep Cincinnati here. In this series, we've seen Gerard Dyson at the top of the lineup, and Bobby's been an impact player in the leadoff spot.
He really has been. I mean, this is a guy that's very comfortable hitting in the leadoff spot. He's done it many, many times throughout the course of his career. But with David Peralta scuffling a little bit, Torrey was looking for a way to jumpstart the offense, and what better way than to put one of the best base stealers in the history of the game in that leadoff spot. Went 1 for 3 with a walk, scored a couple, stole a base. Great base running play, scoring from first last night. Walked a couple times in game 1, stole another base in game 1 of this series.
Patrick Corbin gets the start today. He has been, Bob, through the first 2 months of the season, one of the best pitchers in the National League.
Yeah, he's littered all over the National League leaderboard in every important pitching category, and he's really good here at home this year. 4-1 with a 2.03 ERA here at Chase Field.
Trying to sweep the Reds. First pitch is coming up on Fox Sports Arizona.
D-backs baseball on Fox Sports Arizona is brought to you by CenturyLink, connecting you to the power of the digital world. By BJ's Restaurant and Brewhouse. Visit bjsrestaurants.com to find a location near you. And by your Valley Honda dealer, where you'll get more standard features for less money. The D-backs home run. Score free Jumbo Jacks only at Jack in the Box. By BJ's Restaurant and Brewhouse. Visit bjsrestaurants.com to find a location near you. And by Gila River Hotels and Casinos. The card now earns you even more rewards 10 times faster than ever before. Sign up for the card today. Patrick Corbin gets the baseball this afternoon, coming off a win in Oakland last week. He's up against the Reds' Sal Romano as the D-backs go for the sweep. First pitch is next on Fox Sports Arizona. In downtown Phoenix, roof and outfield panels closed. Welcome in, it's Steve Berthew, Bob Renly, and Kate Longworth along the way as the D-backs go for a 3-game sweep of the Cincinnati Reds, who come into this one 18 games under 500, the worst record in the National League, and last place in the NL Central. Here's a look at the Reds starting lineup today. That's presented by your Valley Chevy dealers.
Here's how Jim Riggleman will line them up this afternoon. Alex Blandino getting the start at second base this afternoon. Tucker Barnhart once again behind the plate. Joey Votto down at first base. Eugenio Suarez having a big series. He'll be at third base. Adam Duvall out in left field. Scott Schebler and his sore right knee out in right field. Jose Peraza will be back at shortstop today with Sal Romano pitching, batting eighth, and Billy Hamilton, the center fielder, batting ninth.
And they're up against the left-hander Patrick Corbin, your Ram Truck starter for the D-backs today. Patrick 5-1, a 2.47 ERA. That is sixth best in the National League. He is second in the league in strikeouts.
Yeah, you mentioned his last start against the A's. He was really good, matched up against Sean Manaea in that ball game. Went 7 innings, gave up 4 hits and 1 run.
E.D. Marshall Jewelers gives us a look around the diamond at the D-backs defense.
Zumbaya, Gerard Dyson out in center field once again, flanked by David Peralta in left. Socrates Brito over in right field today. Jake Lamb will be at third base. Nick Ahmed at shortstop. Ketel Marte at second base. Paul Goldschmidt has to seem like an eternity to him since he last played. He's back in the lineup at first base with John Ryan Murphy doing the catching for lefty Patrick Corbin.
Veteran crew here has worked this series. Brian O'Nora has the balls and strikes this afternoon. Field and Culbreth, the crew chiefs, at first base. C.B. Bucknor is at second, and Chris Conroy is our third base umpire today. And before we get started, Bob, time for your Valley Honda dealers key to the game.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've been able to use this one in game 3 of a series. Sweep!
D-backs last night won consecutive games for the first time since May 5th and 6th. April 4th against the Dodgers, the last time the D-backs swept a 3-game set, so it's been nearly 2 months. Zach Godley was on the mound last night, got his 5th win of the year. And today it's Patrick Corbin in a getaway day matinee for Cincinnati. They're off to San Diego after this one to continue their long West Coast road trip. Funny thing about that sweep of the Dodgers back April 4th, that was a series that also closed with a Wednesday 12:40 start, and the D-back starter in that game was Patrick Corbin.
How about that?
So some nice synergy there as Alex Blandino, the second baseman, steps in, and we're just about set to go.
Nick Ahmed with a bag of groceries out there at shortstop.
Blandino 267 and a homer. Give him all the seeds he wants.
That's
the way
right.
He's been going. Blandino doubled and scored to lead off last night's game. He was the shortstop for the Reds last night, and they're at second today. Well, I'd like to see him go to those Ben Zobrist plain black cleats to match those big red machine socks. That would be a nice old school look for him. The shoe police would just back off a little bit. Maybe we could get that done. Patrick's got it. Here's the catcher, Tucker Barnhart. Switch hitter batting from the right-hand side against Corbin, 261 and 3 homers.
Barnhart has hit for a higher average this year as a right-handed hitter, batting .407 going into play today. More power from the left side where he hits .231. All 3 of his homers have come, I think, as a lefty. Yes, they have.
Fastball is fouled back. That one got John Ryan Murphy. Brian O'Nora checking in.
Might seem like an innocuous thing, but I remember a game at the Houston Astrodome one time. No, it was actually at Dodger Stadium. Jack Clark, our right fielder for the Giants, ran over Mike Scioscia at home plate. And he hit his head really hard on the dirt behind home plate there. And Tommy Lasorda and the trainer came out, and the umpires were all out there checking on him. And the trainer asked him, "You know where you're at, right?" He says, "Yeah, the Astrodome." And this was at Dodger Stadium.
Oops.
So they immediately took Mike Scioscia out of the ball game.
That explains some of his managing. No, wait a minute. That's not true. Come on. I hope he was okay.
Well, eventually he was okay. You know, that was back in the day. If you could open your eyes the next day, you were good enough to play.
Yeah, rub some dirt on it. Get back in there. Called strike 3. The fastball inside. 2 down.
Maybe getting a little bit off that inside corner. 91 miles an hour. Maybe a ball off the corner, but good pitch nonetheless from Patrick Corbin.
It'll be interesting to see how this matchup goes today. Patrick Corbin, the left-hander, against Joey Votto, who's got 3 hits in the series, all singles. There's the defense against him. Votto has homered twice off left-handers this year. And generally he's been okay against lefties. This year it's been a bit of a struggle, though. Waits at that slider. For Votto this year, it's about 160 or so against left-hand pitchers.
In the past, it seemed to me like Joey Votto would pull breaking ball strikes and hit fastballs the opposite way against left-handed pitching. And we've seen him go to the opposite field a couple times already in this series.
Corbin ahead 0-2. That slider missed away. Votto just under 290 for the year. He's hit safely in 6 straight games. Missed down low with a fastball, and it's 2-2. The red hot Eugenio Suarez is the cleanup man today. He'd be next. Another slider missed, and Votto's worked it full 3-2. Don't put runners on ahead of Suarez. No player in baseball has more RBIs this month than the Reds' third baseman. Right to Nick Ahmed. A 1-2-3 first for Patrick Corbin. D-backs coming up. World right-hander, only 2 wins and 11 starts, an ERA that's nearly 6. A guy who throws hard but has struggled with control.
And has throughout his career, especially at the minor league level. 20 games under 500, an ERA of nearly 4.5 as a minor league pitcher. He does throw hard, and you got to love that big 6'7" frame, but has yet to manage that strike zone as he needs to be successful up here.
So we'll see how patient the D-backs will be against Sal Romano today as Gerard Dyson leads it off.
And he looks at a fastball for strike one. Dyson 185. He's homered twice. Now there's that slider that Romano throws, and it can be a hard slider as we just saw, but he almost never throws it for a strike. Dyson drives it into left center. Duvall over to cut it off. That's a leadoff single. Here's a look at the D-backs lineup today. That's presented by your Valley Chevy dealers.
Gerard Dyson with a nice leadoff hit to the gap in left center. He'll be out in center field. Paul Goldschmidt batting second at first base. Jake Lamb over at third. John Ryan Murphy cleaning up and doing the catching with David Peralta in left field. Ketel Marte at second. Socrates Brito in right field. Nick Ahmed at shortstop, and lefty Patrick Corbin on the mound.
Goldie back after the day off yesterday. Gets the breaking ball in there for a strike at 89 that time. Goldie 208, 6 homers. Dyson down there at first base. 9 steals in 11 attempts this year. Misses with a fastball, and it's 1-1.
You know, much has been made recently about the Diamondbacks offense's inability to hit velocity, high velocity fastballs. Had 4 knocks in the game last night. 3 of them came on pitches that were 95 or better, and the first base hit of the game here for Dyson on a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. Starting to make some adjustments.
Goldie lifts one in the air, deep right field. And there it goes. 2-0 D-backs. A good start here against the Reds. That's number 7 for number 44.
And another high velocity fastball, 95 out there on the outside corner at the knees. Boy, is this good to see. I mean, it's good to see Goldie hitting the ball hard anywhere, but when he's driving the ball to the opposite field like this, he's very close to snapping out.
Jumbo Jack, free Jumbo Jack tomorrow. A Jack in the Box with the purchase of a large drink. Tell him Goldie sent you. Here's Jake Lamb. There's that slider in the dirt, 1-0. All smiles in the dugout from Goldie after the off day yesterday. Fastball is low, but Brian Honora says strike one on Lamb. 234 with 1 home run. The importance of getting a good start for the D-backs. That home run for Goldie. Just his 3rd and 4th RBIs in the first inning this year. Same deal for Torey Lovullo as we saw last night. Descalso had the 2-run homer in the first. Lamb hits one deep to left, high in the air for Duvall. And that's the first out.
We're starting to see some signs of the Diamondbacks loosening up a little bit over in that third base dugout after Goldie's homer. We know how David Peralta always has to be the first guy to high-five a home run hitter, but instead Ketel Marte intercepts, playing the role of Gregor Blanco.
That became a thing last year. David looked about as happy about it there as he did then, which was less than thrilled. That's his thing. John Ryan Murphy. Kind of like touching Adrian Beltre's head. You never get the positive response. Murphy batting cleanup today. 243, 6 homers. He homered in his start behind the plate here Monday. Here's John Ryan Monday leading off the 4th.
Fastball down and in. Drove it out of here to left field.
This one's headed for right center. It rolls to the track, and Murphy's got a double. He continues to hit.
And high velocity once again, a 95-mile-an-hour heater from Romano this time, and Ryan Murphy stays right on it to that gap in right center. Boy, he is locked in.
Sure is. You know, we were talking with Torrey about that this morning, Bob, and over the last week or so, they have what they call high velocity pitching machines they put in front of the mound, and it simulates about a 95, 96 mile an hour fastball. And they've been having guys hit on that high velocity machine for a while now, and it seems to be paying off. Here's Danny Darwin, interim pitching coach, out there to talk to Sal Romano, who's in immediate trouble. Well, we have a moment. Let's take a look at the Reds defensively. That's presented by E.D. Marshall Jewelry.
Adam Duvall once again in left field this afternoon. Billy Hamilton will be in center with Scott Schebler over in right field. Eugenio Suarez at third base. Jose Peraza at shortstop. Alex Blandino at second base. Joey Votto over at first, with Tucker Barnhart once again behind the plate for the right-hander Sal Romano.
David Peralta bats fifth today. A .257 batting average. He's got 7 home runs. 2 runs are in. Murphy at second, still only 1 out. Fastball just off the plate's a strike. David had the day off in Monday's series opener. He was 0 for 4 last night. Hit hard and throw into center. He'll wave Murphy. Here he comes. The throw from Hamilton is offline, and it's 3-0 D-backs. This is not the same offensive team that we've watched, Bob, for most of this month. This is a different looking group.
Yeah, taking very aggressive swings at pitches in the strike zone. That one again at 94, elevated a little bit, and David muscles it back up the middle of the field. Good base running by Ryan Murphy to duck underneath the possible tag there by Barnhart.
And Peralta takes second on the throw. Try to keep this thing going. Ketel Marte now. This is a guy that's put some good swings on baseballs lately. 221 and 1 home run. Ketel has 3 hits in this series. He's doubled twice and scored 3 times. A couple of RBIs as well. This is tapped to Votto at first. Peralta moves up, 2 down. Come on, Scott.
That's a big 90 feet there. Marte moving Peralta from second to third. As you mentioned, Romano rarely throws his slider for strikes, and a lot of them end up in the dirt, so that could turn out to be a big 90 feet right there.
Socrates Brito, the right fielder today. He singled, scored, and had an RBI against the Reds on Monday. Talked about this the other day on the ever popular Snake Talk radio program, that Socrates Brito looks a little bit more this year like a finished product, like he's made some progress now at the age of 25. Not quite as raw as he was a couple of years ago. Fastball up, 1-1.
I think that just comes with more experience, putting yourself in more situations, whether it be big league spring training or a call up, getting opportunities to play here at the major league level. I think everybody has that saucer-eyed deer in the headlights look the first go round. But yeah, you're right. He looks a lot more comfortable, a lot more balanced in the batter's box, and hasn't been chasing a lot of bad pitches.
Got a breaking ball in the strike zone there. Fouled it off, and it's 1-2. Of course, Socrates has had so many injuries along the way in terms of his development that's set him back several times. But healthy and looking good right now, hitting over 320 at Reno when he got called up. Breaking ball in the dirt, 2-2.
Hey fans, anytime the D-backs score 5 runs or more, Taco Bell is giving away 3 free tacos with the purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 the following day at participating locations.
Goldie's 2-run home run has set the tone. 3 runs in so far in the first. High in the air, deep left field. Duvall has room. But the D-backs get on the board quickly. Another crooked number. 2 courtesy of Goldie's 7. Peralta tacks on 1 more. It's 3-0 D-backs after 1. Breakdown.
You see the velocity for Patrick Corbin in the first month plus a couple days of the season, just a tick over 92 miles an hour. In the month of May, it drops down to 89.2 miles an hour. The interesting thing is Patrick's pitched some of his best baseball at the lower velocity.
Yeah, it is. It's remarkable. He seems to be almost as effective as he was when he was throwing a lot harder. Coming off a win in Oakland on Friday. The danger is, say, Eugenio Suarez leads off the Reds' second. Suarez hitting .294 with 10 home runs. He's already got 5 hits in this series. Hit a 451-foot home run to dead center last night. There's the slow breaking ball from Patrick. He's ahead 0-2.
You know, backing up just a little bit, Patrick's month of May, back-to-back starts against the Dodgers. He gave up 1 run in each one of those. The Brewers banged him around pretty good. He gave up 4 against them, but then 2 against the Mets and 1 against Oakland last time out.
Another hit for Suarez, his 6th in the series, a leadoff single. Boy, he is a tough out these days.
Boy, he really is. His timing is perfect. His rhythm is good right now. He's swinging at strikes and taking bad pitches and usually barreling it up somewhere.
Here's the left fielder, Adam Duvall. 180, still has good power, 9 homers. D-backs. 3 infielders on the third base side. Patrick left that fastball in a bad spot, but Duvall missed it. Duvall 0 for 4 last night. He doubled and drove in 4 runs in the series opener Monday. Patrick tried a changeup.
Rare straight changeup from Patrick Corbin.
Yeah, that's well off the menu. That's the pitch that Patrick
gave up on this year finally and replaced it with that slow breaking ball. I don't recall seeing him try that pitch yet this year. There's the slower breaker. 1-2.
That could be a situation where warming up before the ball game, he threw a couple of straight change-ups. They felt good coming out of his hand, and might have told John Ryan Murphy, hey, let's mix in a couple. If the situation's right and we have the right hitter at the plate, let's mix in a few. See if he throws any more here today.
Got him to chase that breaking ball in the dirt. First base occupied. So there's the strikeout. Suarez moves up. Strikeout and a wild pitch.
Right fielder, number 43, Scott Shebler.
So Suarez at second, 1 out for Scott Shebler. Shebler 237, 5 home runs. What do you bet he gets hit on the knee?
I was just thinking the same thing. If you weren't with us, each of the first 2 games of this series, he's been hit on the outside of the right knee with a pitch.
Right on the bone. That's fouled behind Freddie Benavidez at first. He does not have a hit in the series, but he's been hit by pitches twice. Right in the same spot.
I thought maybe Shebler would have the day off today after getting thumped in the knee twice. An early day game after a night game last night, but he's right back in there.
He has been a guy that has handled left-hand pitching pretty well. And as soon as I say that, he waves at a breaking ball, and it's 0-2. Shebler hit .276 versus lefties last year, including 6 homers, and he's done pretty well against left-handers this year as well. Not a lot of options down there for Jim Riggleman anyway. Reds lost 2 of 3 in Colorado to open this road trip. They're in danger of getting swept here in Phoenix. And after this game, they leave for San Diego, where they've won only 4 games at Petco Park in the last 4 years. So it's been a long trip and getting longer for Cincinnati. 0-2 on Shebler. Reaches out and pokes it to Ahmed at shortstop. Suarez stays put, 2 down.
Hey fans, the Coors Light Strike Zone Cabanas are the newest place to enjoy a ball game right here at Chase Field. Each cabana includes a dedicated wait staff, food and beverage package, and a unique view of the field. Reserve your cabana now at dbacks.com/cabana.
Shortstop Jose Peraza, 252. He's got 2 homers. He did not play in last night's ball game. Had a couple of hits Monday. Corbin so far has faced 6 batters. He's had 4 0-2 counts. Getting ahead. Missed that time with a fastball away. 1-0. Saw Peraza at shortstop Monday. Blandino at shortstop last night. Now they're both out there today with Blandino at second.
Yeah, because of the lineup changes for Jim Riggleman today, he's got a weapon off the bench. Scooter Gennett not getting the start today. Definitely want to keep an eye on him and make sure, and that situation comes up possibly later in the ball game, that you've got a lefty ready for him.
Yeah, you know the way that this team has struggled and the way Gennett has hit lately. It must have been hard to sit him down today. The National League's leading hitter, Scooter Gennett, batting .345 on the year. But on the bench to start this one. Fastball's low, 2 balls and 1 strike. Peraza this year hitting only .225 with runners in scoring position. He's got Suarez at second and 2 outs.
The pitcher Sal Romano is on deck. He bats 8th in the lineup. Here's the slider, 2-2.
Boy, everybody you talk to around baseball, they refer to that as Patrick Corbin's wipeout slider. Every team we play against, when Patrick Corbin is pitching, they want to talk about that wipeout slider. Well, that was it.
Got one more there and popped it up shallow right center. Brito coming in. Patrick strands the leadoff single. D-backs have a 3-0 lead.
A 3-0 lead as Torey Lovullo continues to mix up the lineup, trying to get some different looks in there. And today, the Diamondback skipper compared himself to John Forbes Nash Jr. in the movie A Beautiful Mind, saying there's like a bubble above his head with all these numbers coming together as he tries to put these different lineups together. He said he believes in consistency and he doesn't want to change things because he doesn't want to confuse his players. However, he does see it to be his part to find the spark in this lineup, get this offense going. And he said although he tries to take breaks from baseball, guys, it's just hard for him. He said he's constantly has a chess match going on in his mind and he wants to get this lineup right. And hey, if it plays out like that first inning, I'd say he does have a beautiful mind.
I think you're right, Kate. And Bob, it's something that I'm sure constantly evolves all the time. Players get hot, they cool off for a while, like with David Peralta. He's been in the leadoff spot all year long. Now he's batting 5th, looking for more run producing in the middle of the lineup. I guess that's something that changes all the time.
All the time, and you know, depending on the opposing pitcher, righty or a lefty, that's going to change your lineup configuration on that given day. There's always something to be examining and seeing if you're absolutely putting your best team out there to win that day.
Nick Ahmed leads off the second against Sal Romano. Nick 207, 8 homers. He homered here Monday. Shock and awe, D-backs. 3 runs in the first inning. 3rd time this year they've done that. They did 9 times last season. This is trying to get down. Oh, Duvall makes a nice running grab in left field. Romano's retired 3 in a row. Here's the pitcher, Patrick Corbin.
Duvall got a pretty good jump on that ball out there. Looked like it was going to drop on the grass there in the gap, but he closed ground quickly. Never takes his eye off that ball. Looks it all the way into the glove. Nice running catch.
Patrick's got a .263 batting average on the year, couple of RBIs. Can check his swing on the slider. And that's the first strikeout for Sal Romano.
Hey fans, the day after every D-backs win, get 50% off all pizzas at regular menu price using promo code DBACS50 at papajohns.com.
Dyson single to lead off the ball game. Came in on Paul Goldschmidt's home run. Two batters in. It was 2-0 D-backs. David Peralta had an RBI single after a John Ryan Murphy double. As the D-backs put up a 3-spot in the first, and Dyson's 2 for 2. He's really starting to barrel it up.
Boy, and at a time when the Diamondbacks offense needed a jump start, they needed a spark, especially at the top of the order. Jarrod Dyson has provided that, and with each passing game, his timing is getting better and better. A couple of line drives in the ball game here today.
Another chance for Goldie. Goldie has now hit safely in 5 of his last 6 games. He's doubled, tripled, and homered twice over that stretch. Big Sal Romano checks in at 6'5", 270 pounds. He's a big dude up there. This was Goldie in the first.
Yeah, and this is a pitch that most right-handed hitters would roll over and hit a ground ball to the left side of the infield. Fastball out there on the outside corner, but instead Goldie hits it 102 miles an hour down the right field line for a 2-run bomb.
And as we've so often said, when Goldie is hitting the ball the other way with authority, that's when you know that he's really back. So hopefully this is a trend that continues. 2 balls and 1 strike. Dyson at first.
Boy, that's very similar to the pitch that he hit down the right field line for the 2-run homer in the first.
Romano, a guy who has struggled with command. He's had a lot of walks lately, but so far 35 pitches, 25 strikes. He's been in the zone a little more often than usual. Dyson breaks for second. Goldie swing and a miss. We'll head to the third. 3-0 D-backs. Go with MLB.tv. It includes MLB at Bat Premium that lets you watch live baseball on your favorite supported devices. Visit MLB.tv for details. The pitcher Sal Romano leads off the Cincinnati third against Patrick Corbin. Well, that was over quickly.
Thank goodness. Same thing Sal Romano saying. Boy, thank goodness that's over.
Well, they each struck out the other guy on 3 pitches. Third strikeout for Patrick. Here's Billy Hamilton, the center fielder who bats 9th behind the pitcher. That is generally the philosophy with the pitcher batting 8th. If you have a speed guy like a Billy Hamilton, you can bat him 9th, and then once the lineup turns over the first time, you've essentially got back-to-back burners there, and your number 9 guy, your number 1 guy. That's usually the thinking.
And if those guys are getting on base, it really sets the table for your RBI guys that follow in the lineup.
Another reason why the analytics folks like the best hitter on every team in the 2-hole. Something that Torey Lovullo has adopted over the last week or so. Popped up short right. Brito coming in front of Marte. 2 outs.
Our Nationwide Vision Center's eye on the game. Patrick Corbin attacking Billy Hamilton that time. Most of the time when you face Billy Hamilton, you want him to hit the ball in the air. A couple of big, slow breaking balls to start the sequence, and then a 91-mile-an-hour fastball on the outside corner gets a lazy fly ball. You love Billy Hamilton hitting the ball in the air.
Every time. Alex Blandino, the leadoff man at second base today. He tapped back to the mound to lead off the ball game. There's a fastball for a strike. 0-1. Blandino, a Reds first-round draft pick out of Stanford, made his major league debut last month. They've got some young players in this system. We saw Nick Senzel, their outstanding infield prospect in spring training. And they've got some youngsters like Blandino and Brandon Dixon, guys that they like. Jesse Winker. That's foul in front of Billy Hatcher at third. Roger the Rocket Rogowski, our Golden Glover, manning left field today. And there is Skip Miller. Skip's got right field this afternoon. Practicing his 2-seam fastball grip. He's got a wicked one. 2-2 on Blandino. There's the strikeout. That's 4 for Corbin. He's set down 6 in a row and leads it 3-0. When we come back, Jake Lamb leads off the D-backs third. The charity raffle presented by the Arizona Lottery from home along with all of us at Chase Field. Your chance to win half the pot and help kids in our community. Get your tickets online during every D-backs home game on Fox Sports Arizona at dbacks.com/5050 raffle. And stay tuned for the post-game show for the winning number. Jake Lamb leads off the third against Sal Romano. Lamb flying out his first time up. Jake has singled and walked 3 times in this series. He's scored twice, knocked in 2 runs. And he had some outstanding at bats in the ball game last night. Couple of walks, had an RBI sac fly, worked some counts. 3 times he was up there in a 3-ball count. Very patient hitter so far, coming off that shoulder injury. Reds have the shift on against Lamb. Drives it to center. Hamilton. Boy, squared that one up nicely.
Yes, he did. That's just buzzard luck right there. Hit it hard, unfortunately, right at the red center fielder.
That'll bring up John Ryan Murphy, the catcher batting cleanup today. Doubled and scored in the first. There's a fastball, 0-1. I've talked so often as of late about John Ryan, his production when he's in the starting lineup. 13 games as a starter this year. He's hit about .290, 6 homers. And so far today, he's doubled and scored. And Torrey making every effort to get his bat in there. We saw John Ryan as the DH in Oakland over the weekend. Making his second start behind the plate in this series.
Hey, fans, receive 15% off at the Chase Field Team Shop when you use the card by Gila River Casino. Sign up for the card today.
I saw some members of your staff doing that, actually, shopping in the team shop before the game today, checking out some of the new Archie Bradley t-shirts down there.
I wondered why they asked me for my credit card.
Yeah, I wondered why you just handed it to them without any questions asked.
Well, they're generally somewhat trustworthy.
Well, until you get the bill. Full count, 3-2. Coming at you, BB.
Well, speaking of the team shop, partner, only 208 days until Christmas. Get your Christmas shopping done early. I suggest you come on down to the team shop. Take care of your entire family.
I send a box back to New England every wintertime. Boy, Ryan really battling here. Go down there and load up all the latest stuff. One-stop shopping. 9th pitch of the at-bat right here to John Ryan Murphy. And that one is headed for the seats in left field. Say goodbye. Oh, John Ryan. 4-0 D-backs. He has homered now in 4 of his last 6 games. That's number 7 on the year.
That cement mixer slider, I bet you that Romano wishes he would have thrown that one in the dirt. That just hung right there over the inside part of the plate for John Ryan Murphy, and he mashes it off the facing of the second deck.
David Peralta looks at a fastball. Second home run today, the 11th given up on the year by Romano. This is his 12th start. We talked about that home run that John Ryan hit Monday to lead off the 4th inning. That was on a 3-2 count. The one he just hit was on a 3-2 count. Both times 9 pitch at bats. He has really earned these home runs. Center field, Hamilton.
I got him.
2 outs. John Ryan has doubled, homered, scored twice. That's a Jumbo Jack. Free Jumbo Jack tomorrow at Jack in the Box with a purchase of a large drink. Here's Ketel Marte.
John Ryan Murphy in his limited playing time is now tied for 3rd on the Diamondbacks in home runs.
Wow.
A.J. Pollock has 11 on the disabled list. Nick Ahmed with 8. And David Peralta and John Ryan Murphy now have 7.
Torrey really likes the 3 catchers. The rotation, the flexibility it gives him. He really has come to enjoy it, but it's getting harder and harder to keep John Ryan out of there every day. He's making it hard, which is what you want. Jeff Mathis, Alex Avila, the other 2 catchers on the roster. Duvall in left field. D-backs add 1 more. John Ryan Murphy, a double in the 1st, a home run in the 3rd. His 7th of the year makes it 4-0 D-backs.
Before we get started here, we want to salute our ball players from extended spring here at the game today. That's Johnny Gomes, the hitting instructor for the Arizona League Diamondbacks Rookie Ball Club. They're managed by Darren Garner. Get an opportunity to come out here and catch a ball game today. A rare pleasure. I mean, those guys work hard. They call it the Fire League for a reason. It's hot, and they're out there in the heat of day every day trying to sharpen their skills and ultimately play right here at Chase Field someday.
And as so many guys who played with him will say, if you want to get motivated, you want to get fired up, Johnny Gomes is your guy.
I'm telling you.
He's a speech maker. That one kicks off the mound. Barnhart, a leadoff single in the 4th.
I was a big advocate for getting Johnny Gomes over here with the Diamondbacks as an active player. A few years ago, he was out there. He was available. The Diamondbacks were looking for some veteran presence on the bench. I can't imagine a better guy than Johnny Gomes to fill that role.
So Barnhart singles to start the 4th. Here's the AARP take. Patrick Corbin against Joey Votto, and so far it's been advantage D-backs.
Yeah, not many pitchers can boast those kind of numbers against Joey Votto.
Votto lined out hard to shortstop his first time. Sends one over there again. Dunks in front of Peralta. Couple of red singles start the 4th.
That's the Joey Votto I remember against left-handed pitching. He was willing to give in and hit the fastball to the opposite field, but be ready to hit off-speed pitches and hit them hard to his pull field. It's a fastball pretty much right down the middle of the plate and just kind of guides it out into left field for a base hit.
And here's the guy you don't want up in this position. It's a Eugenio Suarez who singled his first time up, leading the league in runs batted in. Barnhart at second, Votto at first, nobody out. Here's that slow slider. Suarez has 3 home runs in his last 6 games. 8 home runs and 28 RBIs this month. No player in the majors has more RBIs in May than a Eugenio Suarez. There's a fastball right at the knees, and Patrick's ahead 0-2. We've talked a lot about John Ryan Murphy's bat, Bob. What do you make of Murphy defensively back there?
He looks good. I mean, we haven't really had a chance to see him throw an awful lot because teams just haven't been running much against the Diamondbacks, but he blocks everything in the dirt that he should. We've seen him save a number of runs blocking balls in the dirt with a runner at third base.
1-2. Another slider down there.
I mean, much like his offense, he just doesn't panic. And you can tell the difference. When a catcher panics behind the plate, you become very stiff. And a ball hits in the dirt, and then instead of hitting a soft target in your chest protector or your body and just letting the ball drop in front, catchers tighten up. And then it's like hitting a brick wall. That ball's liable to bounce anywhere. But John Ryan Murphy, very calm, very cool and collected back there behind the dish.
2-2. Almost bit on that slider. It's full. Duvall on deck.
You know, John Ryan Murphy reminds me a little bit of defensively is Brad Ausmus. Brad Ausmus was very soft behind the plate. Everything that hit his chest protector just dropped right in front. Always looked like he had all the time in the world to get into a blocking position.
Got to make a good pitch here to this guy in this spot. Suarez last year career highs, 26 homers, 82 RBIs. Reds decided to give him $66 million this spring to keep him around for a while. A 7-year deal. Thought for a minute that Brian Honora was going to bite on that fastball. Showed up as a strike. Instead, it's ball 4 and the bases are loaded. Mike Butcher getting out there. That was the very definition of a borderline pitch.
It's just a shame. Sometimes you teach your pitchers to stay around the edges of the strike zone, and when they do that and don't get rewarded for the pitch, that can be a little morally wounding to a pitcher out there on the mound. I made exactly the pitch I wanted to make, and you don't get rewarded with a strike call.
And you saw John Ryan framing it with the catcher's mitt down in the strike zone, kind of below the ball, but nothing worked on Honora that time. And Corbin's in a bases loaded no out jam with a 4-0 lead, and the batter is Adam Duvall. Duvall struck out his first time up. He knocked in 4 runs in the series opener on Monday. Barnhart is at third, Votto at second, and Suarez at first. Fastball's a strike, 0-1.
Fastball at 92.
That's a good sign.
Patrick's velocity kind of goes up and down like a roller coaster over the course of a 6-month season. Sometimes it's 93-ish, other times 90-ish. It's been down, as we mentioned earlier this month, but he's been just as effective. They've tried skipping some bullpen sessions for Corbin in between starts, trying to save him some energy, cut down on the fatigue a bit over the course of a long year. That seems to have helped. Here's the 1-1. There's that back foot slider to the right-hander. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Boy, to a right-handed hitter, that looks like a fastball strike in the middle of the plate. By the time you swing at it, it's nearly in the dirt near your back foot.
There it is again, and he gets the strikeout. Nope, foul ball. Just did get a piece of that one. Still 1-2. This is crushed at deep left center field and gone. Adam Duvall, a grand slam, and we're tied at 4. What a difference a foul tip can make.
Try to go back to that slider a 3rd time in a row. Unfortunately, the worst one he threw in the at bat was the last one. After throwing a couple to the back foot, leaves that one out over the middle of the plate and down, and he just golfs it out of here into the concourse out there. Well, you're right. Just that foul ball on the previous pitch, just able to get a piece of it to stay alive. I say it all the time. You stay alive in the at bat, you give the pitcher an opportunity to make a mistake on that next pitch, and unfortunately, Patrick made one of his few mistakes.
Duvall now with 8 RBIs in the series. His 2nd career grand slam. 0-2 on Schebler. Pretty big swing right there. Didn't get the strike 3 call on the walk to Suarez. And then Duvall just gets a piece of that previous slider, stays alive, and suddenly it's 4-4. Bounces back to get Schebler. 5th strikeout for Corbin.
Let's take a look at the pitch by pitch of that Adam Duvall at bat that resulted in the grand slam to left center field. Patrick Corbin starts the sequence with that 92-mile-an-hour fastball, jumps ahead, tries to get him to nibble on that curveball away, and then 2 really good sliders down and in. Tried to go to it one more time and just didn't get it to the spot. You could see Patrick reacting angrily out there on the mound. He knew right away he left too good of a pitch over the heart of the plate.
Nationwide vision, eye on the game. Good look at that sequence. Here's the shortstop Peraza. Duvall is no slouch. He's been an all-star. He's hit at least 30 home runs each of the last 2 years. Peraza hits that into center. A 1-out single. 4 hits and a walk against Corbin here in the Reds' 4th. The pitcher Sal Romano.
Struck out in the 3rd inning for the 14th time this season in 18 at bats. He does have 2 sacrifice bunts on the year.
Lamb coming in from third. Romano squares, bunts at first base side for Goldie. Marte covers and they move Peraza along. 2 outs for Billy Hamilton.
Center fielder, Billy Hamilton.
Well, it's not like they can't get it back. They've been squaring up Romano pretty well themselves. D-backs with 3 in the first and 1 in the third. They've homered twice today. Goldie comes in on the grass at first. There's the slider, swing and a miss, 0-1. Hamilton has 3 hits in the series, all singles. He's hit safely in 5 straight games. Billy Hamilton is a natural right-hand batter. He's a switch hitter, but he learned to switch hit so he could bat mostly from the left side and get that speed 1 step closer to first base. Both of his home runs this year have come as a right-hand batter. Peraza takes off for third. Hamilton swings at a slider and strikes out. But Duvall's grand slam has tied the ball game at 4.
To support veterans.
Well, the D-backs had a 4-0 lead until Adam Duvall's grand slam has tied it up. And now Socrates Brito leads off the bottom of the 4th against Sal Romano. Brito flying out his first time up. D-backs got 3 in the first. Goldie a 2-run homer. Peralta an RBI single after a John Ryan Murphy double. And then Murphy homered in the third. They led it 4-0. But Duvall has tied it at 4. Big Sal Romano. 6'5", 270 out of Southington, Connecticut. A 23rd round pick out of high school there by the Reds in the 2011 draft. And he strikes out Brito to start the 4th.
You know, partner, we were talking earlier about the concern of the Diamondbacks not being able to hit high velocity pitches. Well, that's not the case today. almost 94.5 miles an hour on Dyson. He rips it into left field. Goldie's home run came on a 94.5 mile an hour fastball. Hit it right down that right field line. Pretty much the same thing up and down the lineup. John Ryan Murphy hits a 94.6 mile an hour fastball. David Peralta, same thing.
Well, what do you make of the adjustment that they clearly have made here today?
It was time. That's what I make of it. I mean, yeah, you go through stages of the season where you see a lot of off-speed pitches. You see a lot of 4 and 5 starters in the opposition's rotation. And then you go through stretches of the season where you bump up against the best the other team has to offer. And sometimes you just get out of sync. You start looking for breaking pitches. You start looking for pitches that you shouldn't even think about swinging at. And you get off of that fastball. I mean, that's one of the first suggestions a hitting coach will give a player when he's struggling at the plate is get back on the fastball. Get your timing and your rhythm so you're ready to hit velocity. Then you can make adjustments to slow down your swing or to go to the opposite field. But if you can't get on that fastball, you're going to have a lot of problems.
Well, Romano struck out Brito to start the inning. Now he's ahead of Ahmed, 0-2. D-backs saw Sal Romano last year when he was a rookie. It was July at Cincinnati. It was only his 3rd career start, and he had a rough day. Gave up 6 runs, 6 hits, walked 5 guys, and lasted only 4 innings. But he's been given a reprieve after falling behind 4-0 today. In the hole for Peraza. Two outs. Here's the pitcher, Patrick Corbin. Patrick struck out his first time up today. Romano did have a stretch earlier this month, in fact, when he was pitching pretty well. He had given up only 2 earned runs or fewer in 5 straight starts. But he's been hit hard lately. Three straight losses coming into today. That fastball showed up as a strike, but ball 2, says Brian Onora. That one's low, and he's 3-0 on the pitcher with Dyson on deck. Dyson singled twice today. He's hit the ball hard. Corbin sends it to left center, and that's down for a base hit. Here comes Gerard Dyson. Let's go down to Kate.
Well, guys, as Dyson steps to the plate, Torrey very complimentary of his leadoff hitter, talking about what a weapon he is if he gets on the base pass. Even if he's not attempting to steal a base, he said just that pressure he puts on the pitcher, taking his focus away from the hitter at the plate, helps the team. And Gerard told me he loves being in that position, takes such great pride in being able to help his team like that. Plus, he gets excited for that cat and mouse game. He said that's always been a part of his game. However, now that he's been able to team up with McKay, he said it's taken his game to the next level, and we're seeing evidence of that.
Sure are. We're going to get a mound visit here for Romano. Danny Darwin, the interim pitching coach, back out there. It was a slow start, Bob, for Gerard Dyson. Didn't do a whole lot offensively, but over the last few weeks we've seen him bunt a lot. He's barreled the ball up lately, and he's run wild on the bases.
Yeah, I mean, he's made his presence in the lineup felt even in those games where he doesn't get a base hit. We've talked about his defense at length, one of the better defending center fielders in the National League, but working at bats, putting pressure on the defense, and when he does get on base, that's when the game really changes.
They felt he'd be a good fit here as the Reds bullpen gets busy. We saw the left-hander Wandy Peralta earlier in this series. Dyson, right after spring training began, got a 2-year, $7.5 million free agent deal from the D-backs. 2 for 2 so far today. Corbin at first and 2 outs. That one kicks away from Barnhart. Patrick not going anywhere. mean, Gerard last year had a pretty decent season in Seattle. Hit just a little over 250, had 5 homers, stole 28 bases, all playing essentially part-time. He missed most of the final month last year after sports hernia surgery, but showed up to camp feeling good this spring. All healed up, ready to go. There's a look from our Moss cam. That fastball missed, and it's 3-0. Goldie on deck. He homered in the first. Duvall in left is there. We head to the 5th inning at Chase Field. D-backs and Reds all tied at 4. Shelby Miller last night for Visalia at San Jose was terrific. 1 run, 4 hits in 5 innings. Didn't walk a batter, had 8 strikeouts, 65 pitches, 52 for strikes. Shelby, Torey Lovullo was telling us this morning we'll have another bullpen session over the weekend and likely start Tuesday in his 2nd rehab start. Could be for Double-A Jackson. And so the news on Shelby was terrific. And how about this morning, BB? I don't know if you saw this. Robbie Ray doing some aquatic rehab in the pool. Ken Crenshaw overseeing things as Robbie comes back from that oblique injury.
Why not? I mean, at some point in your rehab, you get really tired of the routine that you're going through, trying to get back on the field. And a little field trip today out to the pool.
It's not just for show. They use it for therapy. And Robbie got great news the other day. An MRI on that oblique showed everything is progressing well. So now he's been cleared to start throwing off a mound. He's been throwing on flat ground up to this point. So very good news on the pitching injury front this week. Here's Alex Blandino to lead off the 5th against Patrick Corbin. Blandino, the 2nd baseman today, 0 for 2. Would be hard to imagine a more encouraging outing for Shelby Miller than what he turned in yesterday at San Jose. That was really, really good news.
Boy, just the ability to throw that many strikes, to be that consistently in the zone. That to me was what the real big highlight of the night.
65 pitches, 52 strikes. Long run for Brito near the line. He almost overran that one, but they get Blandino to start the fifth.
Must be nice to be that fast. He almost overran it, thought it was going to be all the way over near that foul line, so just went on a dead sprint to where he thought the spot was going to be, but that's a physical ability to slam on the brakes and make the play anyway.
They really like him in a corner outfield spot, either left or right. We've seen him in both places so far. Tucker Barnhart, the catcher, singled and scored. His last time up came in the Adam Duvall grand slam that tied the game at 4. This is a very good series for catchers. I'm surprised that you haven't noticed this.
Every series is a great series for catchers.
Barnhart continues hitting second in the lineup for the Reds. In the meantime, John Ryan Murphy, who homered earlier, 5 home runs this month. That is a D-backs record for home runs by a catcher in May. That one rolls all the way to the backstop, and Barnhart's going to reach.
Hey fans, it's been Father's Day here at Chase Field on June 17th. Get dad tickets to see the D-backs against the Mets at 1 o'clock that afternoon, and the first 15,000 dads will take home a Hawaiian shirt courtesy of Tyson Foods. Visit dbacks.com/dad.
Well, John Ryan Murphy's letting Brian O'Nor, the plate umpire, hear about that last one. Was this foul or not? Let's see.
Really tough to tell. Swung at a pitch in the dirt. Didn't see contact right there. The ball went by the bat, hit the dirt, then hit John Murphy, then hit the umpire. A lot of noise back there.
So Barnhart's aboard with 1 out. Here's Votto. He singled his last time up. Votto with 4 hits in the series, all singles. He's got a 7-game hit streak. That slider's a strike, 1-1. There's the defense against Joey Votto. Another slider for a strike.
Couple of knee bucklers right there. Joey Votto on those last 2 sliders that kind of started right at him and then broke over the strike zone. A little bit of a twitch in that front knee.
Tap foul ball, says Fielden Culbreth.
We talked about this in Oakland the other day. It's always funny when that happens. The ball's called foul very late. The play continues and the fans get all excited, but now they're all going, what happened? What just happened?
Everybody has to go back to where they were defensively. Jake Lamb is way over, almost on the right field line, the third baseman with the shift on. And Votto hits into it. Marte for 1, and there it is. C.B. Bucknor signaling out of the baseline. They get the double play. We're tied at 4.
Sliders. That one jelly leg and that one jelly leg. Two perfect strike sliders. Comes back with another one that's fouled away and then gets that ground ball to Ketel Marte at second. He steps up in the baseline. And that forces the runner out of the baseline. CB Buckner right on top of it. Gets the call right.
There's no baseline until Marte extends his arm. And once you do that, establishes the baseline right there. And you've got 3 feet. And CB Buckner felt Barnhart was a little too far off. So Goldie leads off the bottom of the 5th. Sal Romano back out there for the Reds. Paul is homered and struck out today, 1 for 2. The home run is 7th of the year, a 2-run shot in the first. That's a good thing for fans to keep in mind, Bob. Between first and second and third, there technically is no baseline, right?
Well, not until it's established. Yeah.
By the fielder. Blandino goes out and chases that one down.
Hey fans, a D-backs home run today means a free jumbo jack tomorrow at participating Jack in the Box locations with the purchase of a large drink.
Well, there's Jake Lamb, who's hit the ball hard twice. Once to left and once to center. Deep fly ball to left and a hard line drive to center field. Just nothing to show for it yet. Reds will put the shift on against him. Suarez has played a lot of shortstop in his day, so he can handle the left side all by himself. Barraza has that one quickly, 2 outs. John Ryan Murphy. He has doubled and homered, and as we mentioned a moment ago, 5 home runs this month, the most in D-backs history by a catcher in the month of May. Kelly Stinnett, Chris Snyder, Damian Miller, Chris Herman, Henry Blanco had all homered 4 times in May. Murphy now has 5 this month. 2 outs on 3 pitches in the inning so far for Sal Romano. This was John Ryan with 1 out in the 3rd after he doubled in the 1st.
Well, John Ryan Murphy, when he gets his arms extended like he did on this one and hit it 107.9 miles per hour out of here, when he gets extension like that, he hits the ball a long way. But he can also pull his hands in close to his body, shorten his swing, and still get the barrel to inside pitches and hit those out of the ballpark.
It's funny, they acquired John Ryan Murphy at the trade deadline last year from the Twins for a minor leaguer, Gabriel Moya. And Murphy had a reputation as a very good defensive catcher. They liked the pitch framing, and they thought there was more in the bat than he had shown. And they have really turned out to be right. High in the air, right center field. Schebler and Hamilton. It'll be Schebler. 3 outs on 7 pitches for Sal Romano. We head to the 6th inning, tied at 4 the Reds in the D-backs.
Get any scarier than Mark McGwire at the plate with the bases loaded. What's he do? He hits a shallow fly ball to center. That's 1 out. Steve Finley fires home to Damian Miller. That's 2 outs. Hey, look, he's trying to go to third. That's a triple play. Well, I'll tell you, we gave Tony Womack a real hard time after that play.
Why?
Well, as you could see on the replay there, Matt Williams, the third baseman, was at third ready to take the throw, and Tony came over from shortstop, cut in front, and applied the tag so he could be involved in a triple play.
There's no INT or Womack. Suarez has singled, walked, and scored a run. Boy, this guy, he has really been a problem. He's now got 7 hits in the series. A leadoff single starts the 6th.
Well, the way he swung the bat in this series and pretty much all season for the Reds, he kind of reminds you of a right-handed hitting Tony Gwynn. He's quick inside. He reacts well to pitches off the plate inside. He's willing to shoot the ball the opposite field if you pitch him away. He's just right on everything now.
He had 4 singles Monday. Last night he walked and homered. Today he's got 2 singles and a walk. He's been on base the whole series. Duvall has the big hit, the grand slam that tied it in the 4th. He's got 8 RBIs in the series now. He had 4 in the opener on Monday.
It seems like the Reds, as we move forward in this game against Patrick Corbin, being a little more aggressive earlier in the count so they don't get to that wipeout slider.
Adam Duvall in the 4th after he just foul tipped a 2-strike pitch. You saw the reaction from Patrick. He knew right away. 441 feet. The grand slam tied the ball game. That was a frustrating sequence for Corbin, who didn't get a strike 3 call on the previous at bat to Suarez. Instead, it was a base on balls. And the foul tip by Duvall, who homered on the next pitch. Patrick at 80 pitches, 59 for strikes. He's walked 1. He's got 7 strikeouts so far.
And a special thank you today, partner, to Chris Schmoll. You know, our StatCast, our little nuggets that we show from time to time. He's been right on top of it today running our StatCast packages.
The Schmoll man.
Yep.
Foul behind Billy Hatcher at third. 2-2.
Really no surprise for Patrick Corbin. 7 strikeouts in the game today. 6 on that slider, 1 on a fastball.
Overshift on the third base side against Adam Duvall. Two and 2. There's that slider. 8 strikeouts for Patrick.
Make it 7 out of 8 strikeouts on that Patrick Corbin slider. I mean, we're working our way the 3rd time through this Reds lineup. They've seen that slider a bunch already, and they still can't lay off of it.
And seen it, I'm sure, countless times on video. Schebler 0 for 2, still hitless in the series. D-backs day off tomorrow. Marlins are in for 3 starting on Friday. Clay Buchholz in the opener against Miami. Then it's Zach Greinke here Saturday on Goldie's solo bobblehead night. Matt Cook pitches the series finale Sunday afternoon. Bullpen is busy again for the Reds. Wandy Peralta, the left-hander. Schebler blasts one way back and halfway up the seats in right field. His 6th of the year, and the Reds, who were down 4-0, now lead it 6-4. Mentioned that Schebler handles left-handers. He homered 6 times off lefties last year, and now Cincinnati has a 2-run lead.
I mentioned 7 of the 8 strikeouts came on the slider. Both home runs coming on sliders as well. That one at 80 just kind of hung it up there on the inside part of the plate. Gift wrap for Scott Schebler to blast out of here to right field.
Jose Peraza. Pitcher spot is behind him. 8th in the lineup for Cincinnati. Brandon Dixon is out in the on-deck circle, ready to hit for Sal Romano.
Hey fans, we hope you enjoyed the new Star Wars movie this weekend. Get your D-backs Star Wars Day tickets right now for this upcoming Saturday. The first 20,000 fans will take home a Paul Solo bobblehead courtesy of Cox Communication. Visit dbacks.com/Star Wars.
Shallow center, Dyson on the run, and he won't get there. It drops in. And now Dixon will go back to the dugout, and Romano will take the at bat.
A slider that was headed for the dirt, and Peraza just sticks the bat out there, hits it off the end of the bat, but puts it out in no man's land. Neither Dyson nor Brito nor Marte could get there in time.
Reds now with 6 runs on 8 hits. All 6 runs coming via the homer, the Duvall grand slam, and now the Schebler 2-run shot. And Romano will take the AB.
Put down a nice sacrifice bunt back in that 4th inning to move Peraza from first to second.
Here comes Lamb from third. Bullpen is still quiet for the Diamondbacks. Patrick not yet at 90 pitches. Lamb still halfway in at third base. Goldie holding Peraza on the bag at first. Here he comes. Romano fouls it off, and it's 0-2.
Now, partner, I should point out that our Geico This Day in Baseball History, the triple play was actually in 2000 tomorrow. But since we're off tomorrow, we thought we'd steal it and use it today.
It's all fair. Peraza takes off. Murphy's throw is into center field. Romano strikes out, and Peraza moves up.
It just looked like a case of John Ryan Murphy didn't have a real good grip on the baseball. It came out of his hand right away. You could tell it was going to be high at second base. Fortunately, you see Gerard Dyson moving into position right away. When he saw that runner break, the ball got by the hitter. He sprinted toward the infield just in case there was an overthrow at second base, so that runner could not get up and advance to third.
Now with 2 outs, Hamilton has a chance to tack on one more run for Cincinnati. He's 0 for 2. Slider misses low. Patrick trying to get out of this 6th inning. Fastball just a tick below the knees, but he gets the call from Brian O'Nora. 1-1. Suarez singled to start the inning. Duvall struck out. Schebler hit the long homer. Peraza has singled and stolen a base. Now here's Hamilton with 2 outs.
Squibb shot foul to Billy Hatcher at third. 1-2. Everything else in the division today is later. Rockies host the Giants. Padres home against Miami. The Marlins come in here Friday. Dodgers host the Phillies. Torey Lovullo's ball club looking for their first 3-game sweep in nearly 2 months. April 4th here against the Dodgers. The last time the D-backs swept a 3-game series. But now after leading 4-0, they'll have to come from behind to do it. They trail at 6-4. One and two to Billy Hamilton. Yes, he went, says Field and Culbreth. That's 10 strikeouts for Corbin. But Schebler's 6th of the year makes it 6-4 Cincinnati. David Peralta leads off the home half. A couple of long Reds homers have produced 6 runs. Tonight, American military personnel serving overseas are watching the game along with all of us on AFN, the American Forces Network. Welcome to those in countries around the world aboard naval ships at sea. And thank you all, servicemen and women, for your service. David Peralta leads off the D-backs 6th inning against a new pitcher for the Reds, the left-hander Wandy Peralta. 29 appearances. That's one behind the Rockies' Brian Shaw for the most in the National League. Peralta had an RBI single in the D-backs 3-run first. He's 1 for 2. Torey Lovullo talked to David a few days ago about dropping down from the leadoff spot. They want the same approach, but the need was there to kind of thicken the lineup a bit with A.J. Pollock and Steven Souza Jr. injured. So they're trying to take more advantage of David as a run producer by hitting him in the middle of the lineup and putting Gerard Dyson in his speed up top. And so far it's worked out.
You know, when you think about it, it kind of changes the personality of the team a little bit. You've got a guy in that leadoff spot that's a legitimate stolen base threat, a legitimate threat to bunt for a base hit. Not taking anything away from David Peralta, but he doesn't have that kind of speed, and bunting is really not part of his game.
And it took 3 days, BB, but we finally got you your Peralta versus Peralta matchup.
There we go.
Advantage Peralta.
I like Peralta a lot.
Yeah, it's a good bet here. Landino at second. Here's Ketel Marte.
Second baseman,
Marte 0 for 2 so far. Now he'll spin around and bat right-handed against the lefty Peralta. Marte has 3 hits in the series. Slider misses up 1-0. We've seen a real change with Ketel Marte at the plate lately. Seems like he's been a little more aggressive with his swing. Starting to hit the ball harder, just like this, way back, and it dies at the track. Duvall is there. But Ketel, for a while this year, he was kind of chopping down on the ball, but now it's a flatter bat path, and we've seen him barrel up the ball as of late.
Yeah, he had a long string of at-bats where he was just driving the ball down into the dirt right in front of home plate, but more recently he's been getting the ball in the air. I think he thought he had one right there, but that ball gets out on a warning track and just dies in front of the wall.
So allowed out number 2. Socrates Brito is recalled with the left-hander out there, and we'll see Chris Owings. So Owings hits for Brito. CO batting 179. He's got 3 homers. He homered here Monday. Two and 0. Owings will remain in the game, presumably, and take over in right field. D-backs trying to get Patrick Corbin off the hook. They trail it 6-4. Owings hits it hard to left, but Duvall will play it on the hop. It drops in, and CO has a 2-out single.
Sounded like he might have hit it off the end of the bat a little bit. Really fooled Duvall out there in left field. I mean, he took a full swing at a pitch up in the zone, came off the bat looking like it was headed for the gap in left center, and then just died out there.
A chance for Nick Ahmed now against a left-hander. This is a good spot for Nick so far today. 0 for 2. Ahmed homered and drove in 4 runs Monday in the series opener against the Reds. Fernando Salas on his birthday. 33 years old today, warming up in the Sanderson Ford bullpen. Pitcher spot is behind Ahmed. Devin Marrero has come out in the on-deck circle. 0-1 on Nick. Well, you like Nick's chances here if he can get something to hit against this lefty. Each team now with 8 hits. Each team with a pair of homers. Got the change up, and it's 1-2. Fly ball right center. Schebler runs it down in front of the pool. 7th inning on the way. D-backs trail it 6-4.
No regresa. Cuadrangular de Daniel Descalzo. Cuadrangular número 6 en la campaña.
Saturday, the D-backs Spanish broadcast returns to Fox Sports Arizona Plus for Game 2 of the Marlins series. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. presented by your Valley Honda dealers and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. To find the Plus channel listings and the 25-game schedule, visit foxsportsarizona.com.
Chris Owings does indeed replace Socrates Brito in right field. Fernando Salas, the new pitcher, and Alex Blandino, the second baseman, leads off the Reds' 7th. Blandino 0 for 3. Salas pitching on his birthday today. He's 33 years old. Last year he got his first and only major league base hit on his birthday against the Brewers' Carlos Torres. Breaking balls in there, and it's 0-2. Called strike 3.
Fernando Salas is not a real tall guy out there on the mound, but with that overhand delivery, he gets some real good downward plane on that fastball when he throws it at the bottom of the knees like that.
The catcher, Tucker Barnhart. Bats from the left-hand side now with Corbin out of there. There's a strike. Barnhart has singled twice and walked in the series. Shift is on for the D-backs. It's right into it. Goldie off the bag. The backhander. Salas over there to cover. 2 outs. That'll bring up Joey Votto. Votto 4 hits in the series, all singles. He's now got a 7-game hitting streak.
Joey Votto, obviously one of the best hitters in the game, but watch how he looks off the pitcher. He looks out to left field. He looks up at the scoreboard. He usually looks down at the grass right out in front of home plate, just so he doesn't get locked in, get tunnel vision with those eyes. Just constantly relaxing, looking off the pitcher, and then looking back again. Didn't do it as much that time as he did on the first delivery. Up at the scoreboard, checking the average.
We saw, I think it was the Brewers' Jesus Aguilar do that.
Yeah. He looked over to the bench and then looked up to the lights in right field before focusing in on that release point.
Got a high fastball and swung through it. 2-1.
Now that's the moment I'd like to be inside the head of some of these hitters. I mean, you can see Joey Votto. Boy, the gears are just spinning right now. Okay, 2-1. All right, what have I seen from this guy before? I've faced Salas. I haven't faced Salas. Whatever the case may be. What am I expecting on this pitch?
Got another fastball down that time, and it's 2-2.
Now the whole mechanism will reset again. Okay, now 2-2. 2-strike count. What has this guy done to me in 2-strike counts in the past? What have the Diamondbacks tried to do to me in this series when I get to 2 strikes? All just grinding through the mind right now. But once he gets in that box, he just looks for the pitch.
Always chokes up a little bit more even when he's in 2 strike counts. Look at all that bat handle under the bottom hand there. Breaking ball missed. Full count, 3-2. Suarez, who they just cannot get out, is on deck. What a series he's had. Just chops it away from the shift and into left field. That wasn't even a half a swing there.
It's about 3/8 of a swing.
Hit them where they ain't.
And you don't know whether this was just trying to protect the plate on a pitch that was too close to take, or whether he realized he had all that room and just tried to bunt it over to that side of the field. Whatever. It's another base hit for Joey Votto.
And another chance for Eugenio Suarez, who has singled twice, walked and scored twice today. 7 hits in the series.
Exit velo on Joey Votto's base hit into left field, 70 miles an hour.
Smoked it. Missed with a fastball away. Well, what a find Suarez has been for the Reds. Came over from the Tigers before the 2015 season in a trade for Alfredo Simon, the pitcher. If they thought he'd be kind of a utility infield type, play some short, play some third, back up some guys. But he sort of became the everyday third baseman when they traded Todd Frazier. Now he's become a key hitter in their lineup. They get the force on Votto. We stretch at Chase Field. D-backs down 2.
Watch the game on TV. Stream it live on your mobile device with Fox Sports Go. It's brought to you locally by your Valley Honda dealers. Download the free app and take Fox Sports Arizona and your D-backs with you wherever you go. Well, Devin Marrero set to pinch hit against the left-hander Peralta. And Jim Riggleman goes to his bullpen. So we'll give him a chance to warm up, and we'll take a break. Back from Chase Field after this. Well, oftentimes up in the broadcast booth, we don't have all the facts as to exactly what happens on the field. Things are still not communicated to us. Devin Marrero was in the on-deck circle ready to pinch hit, and they had a left-hander Peralta out there. Not sure if Marrero was announced. In any case, they bring Jared Hughes on, the right-hander. And so Alex Avila will hit for the pitcher instead. We're not sure if Marrero has been burned or not. I don't recall hearing him be announced as the pinch hitter before Riggleman went out there to get the lefty. So we'll try to confirm that for you. In the meantime, Avila is the pinch hitter against Jared Hughes to start the home half of the seventh. Away from the shift, and he rolls it into right center field. Blandino, the second baseman, was over toward the right field line and just not far enough to get to hit that slowly hit ground ball.
Tailing fastball right in the middle of the plate. Avila just finds a hole in the infield, something he hasn't been able to do much of this year. It seems like every time he does hit a ball hard, it's right at somebody, but this one sneaks through into center field for a base hit.
Leadoff man on, Gerard Dyson now. Dyson has singled twice and scored a run today. In the leadoff spot, he's 2 for 3. Fastball low for a strike. Jared Hughes comes on with a 13 1/3 inning scoreless streak. He has pitched very well as of late. Blandino is there. They get 1 and 2, able to get Dyson at first. Let's take a look at our Cricket Wireless something to smile about moment. Goldie in the first. His 7th home run of the year. D-backs had a 3-0 lead after 1. They led 4-0 after 3. But they now trail at 6-4. Bases empty, 2 down for Goldie, who's 1 for 3 with that homer.
Slider got away from Hughes. Tried it again and missed. It's 2-0. Andrew Chafin warming up in the Sanderson Ford bullpen. They've already hit for Salas. Fastball off the plate, but strike one, says Brian Honor. 2-1. Goldie's hit safely in 5 of his last 6 games. Got a couple of home runs over that stretch, including today. Fastball right there, swing and a miss, 2-2. Billy Hamilton in center, shaded well over toward the pool in right center field. Jake Lamb would be next. Full count on Goldie, 3-2. Hamilton taking some steps back over towards center now. Wouldn't bite on a slider, and Lamb gets a chance.
I'd be shocked if they don't make the move to a lefty right here. Looks like Jim Riggleman making his way out of that first base dugout right now. Headed to the home plate umpire Brian Honor to make a double switch.
We saw Amir Garrett work 1 inning of the ball game last night. Garrett is getting loose in the Reds bullpen. And Scooter Gennett looks like is coming into the game at second, replacing Blandino. We'll sort it out when we come back. D-backs have the tying run at the plate in the 7th. Back after this. If you're between the ages of 10 and 16 and you'd like to be part of a D-backs telecast, interview a player, go behind the scenes and see what it takes to produce a baseball game, come on out to the park Sunday. The Fox Sports Arizona and Sanderson Ford Kidcaster auditions from 11:30 to 1:30. They're held at the Sandlot during the D-backs and the Marlins game this Sunday. Double switch for Jim Riggleman. The left-hander Amir Garrett, who we saw worked the 8th inning last night, is on to face Jake Lamb. Scooter Gennett replaces Alex Blandino at second base. Gennett will bat 8th. Pitcher spot now the leadoff spot for the Reds.
Yeah, Garrett faced Jake Lamb last night and walked him in the ball game in his 1 inning of work.
Goldie at first with 2 outs. There's the strike, 0-1. Lamb has hit the ball well today, but nothing to show for it. 0 for 3. The other way, backs up Duvall on the track, and he's able to run it down. 8th inning coming up. D-backs trail it 6-4.
Air conditioning and plumbing, cool plays of the game. A couple of home runs in the ball game. Paul Goldschmidt going right down the right field line, and John Ryan Murphy off the facing of the second deck out there in left field. Unfortunately, the Reds hit a couple bombs of their own. Adam Duvall with a grand slam back in the 4th inning. And then Scott Schebler picked on a hanging slider and hit a long home run to right field. Reds lead the Diamondbacks 6-4 as we head to the top half of the 8th inning. Andrew Chafin on for the Diamondbacks. He'll face Adam Duvall, Scott Schebler, and Jose Peraza to start this 8th inning. See Andrew's numbers on the season. Starting to round back into shape. Andrew had a rough stretch there for a while, was giving up some home runs, was walking some guys, but he's starting to hit those corners in the bottom of the zone with more regularity.
Adam Duvall will lead off the Cincinnati 8th inning. By the way, just to finish up the point we made earlier, they did indeed announce Devin Marrero as the pinch hitter in the bottom of the 7th inning. So they've used now off the bench Owings, who's still in the game, Marrero and Davila. Duvall hit a grand slam in the 4th, his 10th home run this year. That tied it 4-4, and then as we just saw, Schebler's homer made it 6-4 Reds. That's where we stand.
Boy, the first 3 innings of this ball game looked like Patrick Corbin was going to do Patrick Corbin things to this Reds offense today. Faced 10 batters in the first 3 innings, gave up only 1 hit, no runs. But in innings 4 through 7, the Reds have sent 21 batters to the plate, 8 hits and 6 runs.
Hard to third. Jake Lamb knocks it down, recovers, but they can't get Duvall. That's E5.
Got caught in between whether to try to backhand it or just field it with fingers down that time. It hit off the heel of his glove and got far enough away to allow Adam Duvall to reach on the E5.
Here is Schebler. The home run his last time up. That one against the left-hander Patrick Corbin. Now he faces the lefty Andrew Chafin.
Duvall, perfect 2 for 2 in stolen bases this year. But as we mentioned before game one, if you're not named Billy Hamilton or Jose Peraza, you're probably not going to run for the Reds.
Not a lot of guys who can after those two.
Diamondbacks got a break right there. Ryan Murphy, in an attempt to block that slider, got a piece of it. It ricocheted up. It looked like it hit Schebler off the chest protector and then off of Schebler, maybe even off the umpire, but it stays right there for John Murphy. That's a break.
Now Schebler's getting hit with balls in the dirt. Took 2 in the knee in the first 2 games of this series on pitches. Made out of Teflon. He better be 1-1. Just missed with a slider there. 2 balls and 1 strike. Andrew Chafin, 12 of his last 13 appearances have been scoreless. Peralta in left. Oh, he can't quite get it. It bounces out. And Schebler's aboard. Duvall stops at second.
Boy, nice effort out there by David Peralta. That ball was really dying fast as it got out there in shallow left field. So close. Looked like it hit the ground first and then came up into his glove and then squirted out the webbing. That'll go as a base hit for Scott Schebler.
So the first 2 aboard in the Cincinnati 8th inning. Here's the shortstop, Jose Peraza. He's singled twice today. Four hits in the series. Duvall at second and Schebler at first. Nobody out. Bunts it back to the screen on a fastball. Lamb angled to the bag at third. Goldie in on the grass at first. Peraza squares again, pops up the bunt. Murphy's under it. 1 out. And here's Scooter Gennett will get his first at bat today. The National League's leading hitter. Batting .345 with 10 home runs.
And if you're going to lead the National League in hitting, you're going to hit everybody. And Scooter Gennett has this season a .364 hitter against left-handed pitching.
He's got 4 hits in the series, all singles. 16 hits in his last 8 games, including 3 home runs.
Scooter Gennett won the National League Player of the Week award last week, looking to win Player of the Month for the Reds if he continues on this hot streak. The last Red to win a Player of the Month award, you have to go all the way back to 2011, Jay Bruce.
Wow. The guy who's the chief competition for that award might be his teammate Suarez, who's had a monster month as well. Suarez is leading the major leagues in RBIs in May. He's had a huge series, not to mention hair coloring.
You don't think that's natural?
I think he dyes the beard.
platinum blonde. Chafin behind 3-0. Billy Hamilton on deck.
Well, you know, Jeanette has the green light here, 3-0 if he gets a pitch to his liking.
There's your 3-0 fastball off the plate. What do you call it? It's got to be keyhole on 3-0.
Yeah, one pitch, one zone. Yeah, you look for your dream pitch, the one when you're sleeping late at night and you're having that dream about hitting the game-winning homer. Whatever that pitch is, look for that one. For most guys, it's a fastball, middle of the plate in. Some guys like it down, some guys like it up.
Here's the 3-1. High chopper to second. Marte, they get one, and they won't get two. Duvall in at third. Just hit too slowly and too high to turn the double play. Jeanette runs pretty well. And here's another guy that can run, Billy Hamilton. They're on the corners with 2 outs. Hamilton 0 for 3. Mike Butcher to the mound. D-backs have been out hit 10-9. They trail it 6-4. They led it 4-0 after 3 innings. Reds tied it in the 4th on an Adam Duvall grand slam. Took a 6-4 lead in the 6th inning on a long 2-run homer by Scott Schebler. Both home runs off Patrick Corbin. What's next brought to you by CenturyLink. We have a day off tomorrow. We're back here Friday night against the Miami Marlins, first of 3. And Clay Buchholz, who's been just outstanding in 2 starts so far, has nothing to show for it. He'll pitch the opener. Zach Greinke on Saturday night. That's the Goldie Solo bobblehead night. Matt Cook on Sunday. Then we're off to San Francisco and Colorado. Marlins, who knows what's going on with them.
Who knows? I'm really looking forward to that Clay Buchholz starts. If you haven't seen him pitch in his first 2 games, could be pleasantly surprised Friday night. Clay Buchholz has really been good.
Just sensational. Took that tough luck loss at Oakland over the weekend when he pitched so well. Gave up only 1 run, 2 hits in 6 innings Saturday against the A's. That's the game that Mengden threw that shutout. Oh, 1. 0-2 on Billy Hamilton. D-backs will have Murphy, Peralta, Marte due up in the home half of the 8th inning. 4, 5, and 6. Duvall is at third. Jeanette, the runner, at first. Hard slider in the dirt. A ball and 2 strikes. Right to Lamb at third. Down to their final 6 outs. The D-backs trail it 6-4.
Top of the fourth, Patrick Corbin staked to a 4-0 lead, and it evaporated. How did it happen?
Boy, it's really tough to really know until we break it down later. But you certainly expect Patrick Corbin, who was just on cruise control, to once you stake him to a 4-run lead, you kind of expect that game to be won. But unfortunately, the Diamondbacks sit down two and need to rally.
Thinking we're going to talk about pitch selection and more. But first, let's get this game done. Who knows how it's going to play out? So Steve and Bob, take it away. The rest is yours.
All right, guys, thanks. D-backs live post-game show brought to you by CenturyLink follows our ball game. Left-hander Amir Garrett back out there for the Reds, and John Ryan Murphy leads off the D-backs eighth. Murphy has doubled and homered today, 2 for 3. John Ryan has now hit home runs in 4 of his last 6 games. He's got 7 on the year. Skies this one near the Reds dugout, and it's in the Reds dugout. Watch out for Holly down there. Right through the wickets and into center. Murphy's 3rd hit today is a triple shy of the cycle. Tying run comes to the plate. It's David Peralta.
Clean single right back up the middle of the field on a Amir Garrett fastball. Hey, you think about that triple for John Ryan Murphy back in the 5th inning. He had a fly ball in the gap in right center. If that ball gets down, he might have had a chance for the cycle today.
You're right. David had an RBI single in the 1st. First pitch slider, 0-1. TJ McFarland, college graduate, warming up in the Sanderson Ford bullpen. Another breaking ball from Garrett. TJ has been finishing up his degree at the University of Phoenix.
We remember when Goldie was studying on the road to get his degree from the University of Phoenix earlier in our tenure here in Arizona.
Boy, you'd go on the road, and this was, 3-4 years ago, 5 years ago. Goldie'd be in the lobby of the hotel in front of his laptop doing his coursework. 96 on the fastball, still 1-2. Now Goldie, Paul and his wife Amy run a great program over there with the University of Phoenix. Good job to lay off that breaking ball down. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Ketel Marte on deck. And back to that breaking ball, and Peralta strikes out.
And David laid off some tough ones off the outside corner, but the one that comes to the front door starts right at him, breaks over the inside part of the plate. He swings right over the top of that.
Ketel Marte, last time up, hit a rocket line drive deep to Duvall in left field. Jammed him. Votto at first. Got it in foul ground. 2 outs. Chris Owings coming up. Jim Riggleman out to check in here with Brian O'Nora. About to make another move. Dixon coming into the game to play a position. And a new pitcher in as well. Back after this. FS1, every match is live. Over 300 hours of coverage. The world's biggest sporting event begins June 14th on Fox and FS1. Another double switch for Jim Riggleman. Their closer is in the game, just reinstated from the DL earlier today. Raisel Iglesias, the right-hander, has been out with a left bicep strain. Double switch again. Brandon Dixon takes over at second base, their third different second baseman in the ball game. He will bat in the leadoff spot. Pitcher spot is back to number 8 for the Reds. Here's Chris Owings with Murphy at first and 2 outs. Iglesias has not pitched since May 19th when he suffered a blown save. So they shut him down for about 10 days. A bicep strain in his non-pitching arm. 1-1. Sanderson Ford bullpen. McFarland, the right-hander. McFarland, the lefty, pardon me. Boxberger, the right-hander, got his 13th save last night. Fastball away, 2-1.
So Iglesias dropped down a little bit on that last delivery to Chris Owings. He'll change his arm angle, drop down nearly to sidearm, go all the way up over the top at times.
Just caught the corner with that last fastball. 2-2 on it, hoping to get a chance. Pitcher spot behind him. High chopper, tricky play. Suarez can't make it, and Owings is aboard. Just kind of died on the Reds' third baseman as he charged in near the mound.
It's always a break when you hit a ball like that in a 2-strike count, because Suarez had dropped way back at third base. So this high hopper to the left side, if it gets past the pitcher, Chris Owings is going to leg it out easily for an infield hit.
CO can really run. 2 on and 2 out for Nick Ahmed, who's 0 for 3.
Murphy is at second. Owings the tying run at first. Ahmed the go-ahead run at the plate. Got a slider up and fouled it straight back.
Well, that's one I'm sure Nick wants back right there. A hanging slider right in the middle of the plate. Put a good rip on it, but just got underneath it a little bit.
Daniel Descalso is on deck. Pitcher spot is behind Ahmed. Descalso hit a big home run here last night. Popped up back here, and it's 0-2. This is nothing new for Raisel Iglesias. He has 3 saves this year of more than 1 inning. Trying to get the final 4 outs of the ball game. 2 on, 2 outs, 0-2. Tucker Barnhart wants to talk it over.
As a catcher, anytime you have a runner at second base, as you're giving the signs, your eyes are on the runner at second base. See if he's doing anything unusual out there, anything out of the ordinary, especially if it's the opposing catcher in John Ryan Murphy. So Tucker Barnhart, in a key situation here in the ball game, decides not to take any chances. He's just going to go out and verbally tell Iglesias what he wants him to throw.
If you're Murphy, would you intentionally do meaningless stuff just to make him think that you're doing that?
Absolutely. If the other team thinks you're stealing signs, whether you are or you aren't, yeah, do something funny out there every pitch.
That completes the out, and they strand 2. We head to the 9th inning. D-backs trail the Reds 6-4.
Trying to change that, but first we want to cue the pomp and circumstance. We have a college graduate on our hands and on the mound. TJ McFarland has earned his Bachelor of Science in Business Management and a certificate in Financial Planning from the University of Phoenix. Well, he will earn that on Monday. It has been an 11-year journey for the relief pitcher, and it required a lot of time and dedication, lugging around a laptop on the road trips for the team, taking classes during the off season. But after being drafted by the Indians out of high school in the 4th round, TJ promised his parents he would earn his degree, and so we tip our caps off to him, guys, because he's doing just that.
Yeah, that's outstanding to do the whole 4 years like that, Kate. Not like he just had a few credits he had to finish up with. He was essentially starting from scratch. Brandon Dixon, who was double switched into the ball game at second base, his first at bat today, leads off the ninth against TJ. Dixon 4 for 11, called up from AAA Louisville last week. His first ever look at the big leagues. He's only played in 6 games. Played college baseball at U of A. 3rd round pick 5 years ago by the Dodgers. It's a pretty good trade the Reds made when they moved Todd Frazier along. That was a couple of years ago. They got Peraza in that deal. They got Schebler in that deal. Frazier went to the White Sox. 3-team trade. So they've got some certainly very usable pieces, the Reds, when they sent Frazier packing. He's now with the Mets. Nick Ahmed.
You said it earlier, partner. The Reds have some nice pieces. They have some guys that can really swing the bat well. The problem's out there on that bump in the middle of the field, and I think that's what cost Brian Price his job. He had been widely recognized as a pitching guru, a guy that could turn careers around and reclaim guys who had maybe fallen off the cliff in the major leagues, but just couldn't consistently get his Reds pitching staff to get guys out.
Tucker Barnhart, the catcher. Yeah, so many times when we play the Reds, especially late in the year, you hear yourself saying, well, they've used 17 different starting pitchers this year, and they just never could get anybody to settle in, stay healthy or succeed. Even Bailey, their veteran, their $100 million guy, has struggled. Now they're going to put him in the bullpen after his start here Monday.
Well, he can commiserate with Matt Harvey. That's what the Mets did to him before he left out.
That's true. Good point. They added the Dark Knight. They traded their former All-Star catcher Devin Mesoraco to the Mets. We just saw him a couple of weeks ago on that last road trip. So they could get Matt Harvey. Good pitcher.
Well, and the Reds knew they had Tucker Barnhart, a guy they've identified as, a player they're going to build around behind the plate, a switch hitting catcher.
Won a Gold Glove last year.
Yeah, and Mesoraco, they had trouble keeping him on the field. It was just one injury after another.
Barnhart has developed into a pretty solid frontline starting catcher in the National League. Switch hitter, real good behind the plate, 27 years old. They've got Joey Votto too. He's on deck. Able to check his swing on that fastball. Full count, 3-2. Missed inside, a 1-out walk, and here's Votto. And he punches it away from the shift and into left center field. Barnhart is in at third. Votto's got his 3rd hit today.
His 3rd hit to the opposite field. Mentioned it very early on in the game against lefties. He looks to take fastballs the opposite way and pull breaking pitches. That's a 91-mile-an-hour heater on the inner third. That inside out swing produces a base hit into the gap in left center.
And now you've got the dangerous Eugenio Suarez. He has singled twice, walked, and scored twice today. 7 hits in the series, including a home run here last night. Punches that one into left field. Barnhart scores to make it 7-4 Cincinnati. Another RBI for Eugenio Suarez, who leads the National League.
Well, the guy has just been a hitting machine in this series. Every time he gets a pitch in the strike zone, it's rolling through the outfield somewhere.
That's 29 RBIs this month, the most in the majors for RBIs in May. Here's Duvall, who hit the grand slam that tied it in the 4th. Reds now have 12 hits. It's one thing about Cincinnati. We mentioned this the other day. They had 16 hits here Monday. Still lost the game. They've got 12 hits here today. It's not like their offense is punchless. Even a guy like Duvall, who has struggled, he's hitting under 200 on the year, but he's got 10 homers. He hit 30 last year. We know what Votto can do. Schebler was a 30 home run guy last year. Two balls and one strike on the Reds left fielder. D-backs will have the pitcher spot. Dyson and Goldie in the bottom of the 9th, 2 up, 9-1-2. It's another one to left center. Peralta comes in. 2 down in the 9th.
Good changeup that time from TJ. Just took enough off to get Duvall out in front. Hit it off the end of the bat. Little dying quail out there in the gap in left center.
There's Schebler, was homered and singled, 2 for 4. His home run in the 6th inning off Patrick Corbin made it 6-4 Reds after they had trailed 4-0. Votto at second and Suarez at first. 2 outs.
It's odd to see TJ McFarland miss the strike zone as often as he has here this afternoon. Usually he just comes in and throws sinkers over the heart of the plate, down, gets those ground balls, gets his team back in the dugout quickly. Maybe trying to be a little bit too fine today.
Yeah, 19 pitches so far, more balls than strikes.
It looked like that might have been a cross-up. John Ryan Murphy, after knocking that ball down, immediately looked out to TJ McFarland on the mound as if he had been crossed up.
Well, they have very complex sets of signs that they use when there's a runner on second base. That's something they really worked on in the offseason, put a whole new system in. Good fastball down, 2-1.
And you think about how often players change teams nowadays in the game, and you have to have signs that not only are tough for the opposition to pick up, but easy for your guys to get, but also that you can change very quickly and very easily, because you might have a guy traded from your ball club to the team you're playing against that night.
Yeah, the videos made everybody paranoid, and for good reason. 3-1 now on Schebler. Peraza, the shortstop, on deck.
It's always funny, you know, when a guy gets traded to another team and then you play against that new team and you say, well, gee, should we change our signs? Oh, no, he didn't even know him when he was here. That happens a lot more than you realize.
It's the old Ruben Sierra clause, I think. 3-2. Trying to get out of this top of the ninth. There go the runners on 3-2, and that's ball 4. The bases are loaded. Fourth man to reach against TJ here in the ninth. So Peraza will hit. Mike Butcher to the mound. Peraza has singled twice today. Reds in this series with the bases loaded are 2 for 2. A grand slam and a double.
Talking about signs, I've told this story before about the 1984 All-Star game. Tommy Lasorda was our third base coach that year. And after batting practice, we came back into the clubhouse, and Tommy climbed up on the picnic table in the middle of the clubhouse there at Candlestick Park and said, all right, listen up, we're going to go over some signs. And Goose Gossage stood up and said, sit down, Tommy, we all know your signs already.
We just saw Tommy last time we were at Dodger Stadium.
Yeah.
Votto at third. Suarez is at second and Schebler at first. 2 outs, a run is in. Starts him off with a slider. 0-1. High chopper, Ahmed. And they're able to get the force on Schebler. But the Reds add a run. D-backs as we go to the bottom of the ninth, trail at 7-4. It'll be the pitcher spot, then Dyson followed by Goldie, who homered back in the first. D-backs down 3. game summary. The D-backs at one point led 4-0. They now trail it 7-4. They got 3 in the first. Goldie hit a 2-run homer. Peralta an RBI single. Murphy hit a home run in the third. It was 4-zip. But then Adam Duvall a grand slam in the fourth inning tied it. Schebler a 2-run homer in the sixth. Both those home runs off Patrick Corbin made it 6-1 Reds. They added another run. And now it's 7-4 as Daniel Descalso will hit for TJ McFarland against Raisel Iglesias, who came on to get the final out of the eighth, looking for the 4-out save. Descalso 254 and 6 home runs. He's got 3 hits in the series. Well, Daniel was up there against a hard throwing right-hander last night off Luis Castillo in the first.
Ambushed him.
Down here against Iglesias 0-2. Changeup is low.
3 straight changeups to start the sequence here to Daniel Descalso.
And that's an upper 80s changeup, as you've seen. Schebler in right. He won't get there. Descalso gets it started. Looking for some base runners. Here comes Gerard Dyson.
Third hit out of the 9 spot today. Patrick Corbin had a base hit back in the 4th inning. Alex Avila with a single in the 7th, and now Daniel Descalso batting out of the 9 spot with a single in the 9th.
Dyson has singled twice and scored a run today. Suarez almost even with a bag at third. 1 step in on the grass. That one's going to get down for a base hit. And here comes Goldie. He's the tying run at the plate with nobody out. Dyson's 3rd hit today. Goldie is homered and walked. He's 1 for 3. Breaking ball missed upstairs. 1-0. .95 right down Main Street. A ball and a strike. Baxter's got his rally cap on. That's a strike. Looked like a cross up. Barnhart was barely able to tackle that one.
Big time cross up. You can occasionally respond to an off speed pitch if you're expecting a fastball, but if you're expecting an off speed pitch and he throws you a heater, that's what happens. You just try to swat it out of the air as best you can.
Got a hard fastball in there for a strike. 1-2. There's another mound visit. That one obviously necessary. Brian O'Nora is finished with the paperwork. 1-2 on Goldie. He's the tying run at the plate. Nobody out in the ninth. Slider away. 2-2. Jake Lamb, the on deck hitter. Popped up. Barnhart near the screen. And he's got it. One out. Big chance here for Jake. He's hit the ball hard all day long, couple of times deep the other way to left field. Once a line drive missile right at the center fielder, but he's got nothing to show for it. There's that hard changeup. 0-1. D-backs have 13 comeback wins this year. The largest deficit they've overcome and won was 3 runs April 2nd. That was the game against the Dodgers that Chris Owings hit that late home run against Kenley Jansen to force extras. Broken bat trying to get down. Duvall makes a sliding grab. Two outs.
Duvall's made some nice defensive plays out there in left field in this series. Starting from that side straddle setup, closes ground quickly and takes a base hit away from Jake Lamb right there. Another nice play by Duvall.
Now tying run at the plate, 2 down, and it's John Ryan Murphy who's a triple shy of the cycle. He homered in the 3rd. Slider up, caught the edge of the strike zone. Last major league catcher to hit for the cycle, George Contos. George Kataris popped it up to second. Dixon is out there. And the Reds salvage the series finale 7-4, and we say a merciful goodbye to May. D-backs were 20-8 coming into this month, 8-19 in May, and the next game will play Friday, June 1. So goodbye May and good riddance.
Absolutely. I mean, in San Francisco they used to talk about the June gloom because every year June seemed to be our toughest month. Ideally the Diamondbacks got their toughest month out of the way here in May.
Well, let's get D-backs live, presented by CenturyLink. The post-game show underway. Gracie standing by with time.
Steve, thank you very much. And Mark, I'll be candid. This was disappointing. This game was setting up, as sometimes you like to say about a game, some offense early in the form of Paul Goldschmidt, John Ryan Murphy, Patrick Corbin dealing. He has been handed a 4-0 lead against a team that comes into this game at 19-37. You got to finish the deal.
Yeah, you came out the first 2 games of this series and you did what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to beat a poor team in the Cincinnati Reds, and they did that twice. Then you hand a 4-run lead to your hottest starter, and that is Patrick Corbin, and unfortunately Patrick wasn't able to hold it, and the Diamondbacks lose. It was a tough one, Todd.
Yeah, it was. All right, we'll come back in just a moment and get Diamondbacks Live, the postgame show underway. Lots to look at. The pitch selection in that 4th inning, and also certainly the offense of John Ryan Murphy, Paul Goldschmidt with a home run in the 1st. We'll talk about how that may have played out and more. Kate Longworth is in the clubhouse. Bob Brenly is in the broadcast booth, and we'll do all that when we return right after these messages.